Hi children of grade 8. I welcome you all for the today's English class. Today in this session we are going to see the next grammar unit from our grammar part.
Chapter 14. The title of the chapter, Direct and Indirect Speech. Children, before getting into the session, let's see a video, the basic things which we want to know about the direct and indirect speech.
Or it can be called it as direct and indirect narration. Children, this is the most demanding chapter in English grammar, so you must understand it properly.
So without further go, let's get started.
Children, first let's know what is a narration. Of reporting the words of speaker.
That is how we are representing a way a person has spoken. There are two main ways of reporting the voice of speaker. One is direct speech, another one is indirect speech.
Let's look into each of them in detail. What is a direct speech? The exact word of the speaker are quoted as it is. That means the exact words of the speaker are enclosed in inverted commas or double quotation. Look at the example here. Yogesh was studying when his friend John came. He is asking, "What are you doing?" He is replying that I am studying. If John want to report what Yogesh said, then the sentence it is, Yogesh said, I am studying. This is what direct speech, children. Here you can see the quotation mark. Inside that I am studying. Here Yogesh said is the reporting verb and I am studying is the reported speech. Let's see one more example. Lucy was wearing a skirt. Rajesh asked Lucy, which colored skirt are you wearing? Lucy said, I am wearing white skirt.
Now if Rajesh want to report what Lucy said, he will say, Lucy said, I am wearing white skirt. This is what direct speech, children. And Lucy said is a reporting verb and I am wearing white skirt is reported speech. Now let's move on to indirect speech. What is indirect speech? Here the actual words of the speaker are transformed and said or written in a simple language. Then why indirect speech? The reason for the change to avoid confusion while using direct speech while reporting. Children, let's take the examples that we saw in the direct speech to convert into indirect speech. Children, we saw that in direct speech that we use the words as it is. That is, Yogesh said, I am studying. In indirect speech, it will become Yogesh said that he was studying. Children, what are the changes that you can identify here? Yes, first one is you have to remove the quotation mark. And second one, change of tense. We have changed into present to past continuous tense. And use of conjunction that.
So children, please remember these changes. Let's see the next example here. Here the sentence is, Lucy said I am wearing white skirt. In indirect speech, Lucy said that she was wearing white skirt. What are the changes that you can identify here from converting direct to indirect? Yes. First one is removing of the quotation mark. Then second one is change of tense. And the third one is using the conjunction that. Children, I hope you are clear with the fundamental things of direct and indirect speech. Children, let's recall one more time. What is a narration? Act of reporting the words of a speaker. That is how you are representing the way a person has spoken. There are two main ways of reporting a word of speaker. One is direct speech, another one is indirect speech. In direct speech, the actual word of the speaker is quoted as it is without any change. The actual word of the speaker are enclosed in the inverted commas or quotations. In indirect speech, the actual word of the speaker are transformed and not enclosed in the inverted commas. Instead, they are said and written in a simple language. Let's look into an example in direct speech. She said to me, I am playing. Here, said to me is the reported verb and I am playing is the reported speech. In indirect speech, it will be changed as she said to me that she was playing. Now you can see the transformation. The second sentence is the transformation of the first sentence. Children, now let's look on to the next part of the session, that is conversion of direct into indirect speech. Children, but before knowing about the conversion of direct into indirect speech, there are certain things you should very well know. Children, there are three important concepts that you must understand properly. First one is what is meant by subject and object. Second one is what is meant by first person, second person and third person. And third one is what is meant by tense. So let's quickly revise all these basic things one by one. First, let's see what is meant by subject and object. Let's understand it with an example. Look at the example here. Saisha said to John. Here, Saisha is doing the action and John is receiving the action. The person who is doing the action is the subject and who is receiving the action is object. Children, now let's understand what is meant by first person, second person and third person. Before that, you need to understand the point of view. Basically, there are 3 points of view in English. First person, second person and third person. Let's understand it with an example. If Ravi and Isha are in the room and Ravi is telling something to Isha about Nikita, she is not present in the room. As in this case, Ravi is the first person as he is the one who is speaking. Isha is the second person, she is the one who is listening to Ravi. And Nikita is the third person as she is not aware while they were talking. And Ravi may be talking to Isha like this. I am telling you that she is very beautiful. Look at the tabulation here, children. Chart of first person, second person and third person. First person, we have I, we, me, us, my, mine, our, ours. In second person, you, your and yours. And in third person, he, his, him, her, hers, she, it, him, it, its. Let's know about tense now. Tense denotes the time at which the action is performed. Tenses are mainly divided into 3 types: present tense, past tense and future tense. And they are subdivided into 4 subtypes, that is simple, continuous, perfect and perfect continuous tenses. So in total there are 12 tenses in English. Children, subject and object, first person, second person and third person and tenses. So these are the 3 things you must know, children. Now let's understand the steps to convert a direct speech to indirect speech for a simple sentence or a statement. First step is to identify things. This is the most important thing, to identify the things like subject, object, reporting verb, first person, second person and third person in the reported speech, and in the reporting verb is in the past form, then the tense of the reported speech. And the second step is the change of the reporting verb. The reporting verbs will change in the following way. Said to will be converted into told. Said is converted into said. When it is say to, it is converted into tell. When it is says to, then it is converted into tells. Then the third step is to replace the inverted commas into that. We have to remove the inverted commas and commas in the sentence, and we have to join the reported speech with that. And the fourth step is the change of pronoun. Pronoun will be identified in the first step. In the reported speech will be changed as follows. First person will be decided as subject, and the second person will be decided as object, and the third person will be unchanged. You can remember this change with an acronym called SON, son. Children, please remember the changes of pronoun properly. First person will be converted as subject, second person will be converted as object, and third person will be unchanged. And the fifth tense is the change of tense. It will happen when the reporting verb is in the past form and the reported speech is not universal truth or habit. It will be converted into the following ways. In present tense, simple present will be converted into simple past. Present continuous will be converted into past continuous.
Present perfect will be converted into past perfect. Present perfect continuous will convert into past perfect continuous. In past, simple past will be converted into past perfect. Past continuous will be converted into past perfect continuous. Past perfect and past perfect continuous, there is no changes. In future tense, will or shall will be converted into in the past tense form like would or should. And for modal auxiliary verbs like can or may will be converted into could or might. These are the changes of tenses which will occur in the sentences. Let's look into the final step, change in the words denoting time. Words indicating nearness are changed into distance in indirect speech. If these words are presented in the reported speech, then in the reporting verb, in the past tense, then the change will happen in the following way. Here will convert it into there, tomorrow will convert it into the next day, today will convert it into that day, yesterday will convert it into the previous day, this will convert it into that, now will convert it into then, tonight will convert it into that night. So children, this is the 6-step formula to convert at any directed speech to indirect speech or a statement. First, identify subject, object, reporting verb, person and tense in a sentence. Second step, change the reporting verb as per this verb flow. Third step, replace inverted commas with that. Fourth step, change of pronoun as per this verb flow. Step 5, change of tense as per this verb flow. And finally, 6th step, change of time words in indirect speech as per this flow. Let's look into the examples to understand these 6 points. Example, she said to me, I am playing football with you now, is in the direct speech. Let's convert it into indirect speech now. First step is of identification. She is the subject here, me is the object here, and said to is the reporting verb. Reported speech, I is the first person here and you is the second person here. And said to is in the past form and we need to see the tense of the reported speech. Currently, the tense is a present continuous tense. The second step is the change of reporting verb. Said to will become told here. Then the third step is replacing the inverted commas with that. So the sentence will become like this. She said to me that. Fourth step is the change of pronoun. Here, I is first person and the subject is she. So, I is converted into she. You is the second person and the object is me. So, you is converted into me. And the fifth step is change of tense. Here, the tense is present continuous. So, it should be changed into past continuous. In this case, I am playing is converted into was playing. And the fifth step is denoting the words denoting the time. Here the word now indicates the nearness and it should be changed into then, which is showing distance. Now the final outcome of indirect speech is she told me that she was playing football with me then. Do you all understood all these 6 steps? Now let's move on to the next example. Ram said to Shyam, I started a new job. First step is the step of identification. Ram is the subject here, Shyam is the object, said is the reporting verb, and I is the first person in the reported speech. As said is in the past form, we need to check the tense of the reported speech. So, it is in the simple past tense. So, second step is the change of reporting verb. So, here the reporting verb is said. It should be changed as said only. Third step is replacing the inverted comma with that. Then the sentence will come like this. Ram said, Shyam, that. Fourth step is the change of pronoun. Here, I is the first person and the subject is Ram. So, I will be changed to he, children. Children, please note, pronoun in the reported speech to refer to the subject or object in the reporting verb. Now, the fifth step is to change the tense. Here, the tense is simple past, so it should be converted into past perfect tense. As it is converted into past perfect, started will be changed into had started. And the sixth step won't come here as there are no words referring to the time here. So the final indirect sentence is Ram said Shyam that he had started a new job. Let's look into the next example here. They said we will plan a picnic tomorrow. First step is of identification. Here they is the subject and said is the reporting verb and we is the first person here. Now we need to check the tense of the reported speech. What is the tense here? It is simple future tense. Second step is the change of reporting verb. We have said, so it will unchanged as said. The third step is the replacing of inverted commas with that. So the sentence will become like this. They said that. Fourth step is the change of pronoun. Here we is the first person and the subject is they. So children, we will be changed into they. So children, we will be changed into they. Now the fifth step is change of tense. Here the tense is simple future tense. So will be changed into would. And the sixth step is the change of time. Noting word. So tomorrow will be changed into the next day. Now the sentence will become they said that they would plan a picnic the next day. Let's look into the next example. The teacher said to the students, the sun rises in the east. First step is the identification step. So here's teacher is the subject, the students is the object and said to is the reporting verb. As said is the past form in the reporting verb. Now check the tense here. It is in simple present tense. Now the next step is change of reporting verb. Here is the reporting verb is said to. So it should be changed to told. And then the third step is replacing the inverted commas with that. Then the sentence will become the teacher told the students that. Fourth step is change of pronoun as there is no pronoun in the reported speech. So there is no way to change over of pronoun. Next step is change of tense. Here the tense is simple present tense and it was given in the universal truth. So there will not be any change in the tense. The sixth step is the change of time denoting word. Here as there is no time denoting word, so there is no change in the sixth step. Then the sentence will become like this. The teacher told the students that the sun rises in the east. Let's look into one more example to make things more clear. The sentence is, he says to me, I am running. The first step is the identification. He is the subject here and me is the object and says to is the reporting verb. As says to is the present form, so we will not change in the tense. Second step is the change of reporting verb. Here the reporting verb is it should says to. It should be changed into tells. And the third step is replacing the inverted commas with that. Then the sentence will become he tells me that. Then the fourth step is change of pronoun. Here I will change into he. As in the reporting speech we have he as subject, so I should change into he. As reporting verb is in the present tense, the final sentence will be he tells me that he is running. Then that's all from the session direct to indirect. I hope you would have understand it. Let's revise it one more time what we have listened and learned in this session. Firstly, what is a narration and its two types? Then we must know three things which are very important in converting of direct to indirect speech. First, subject and object, first person, second person, third person and tense. Tense of reported speech. Finally, we learn about the 6 steps to convert from direct to indirect speech. These are the important 6 steps we need to change the sentence from direct to indirect speech. First and foremost step is to identify subject and object, reporting verb, first person, second person and third person and tense. And the second step is change over of reporting verbs as per the verb flow. And the third step is replacing of inverted comma with that. And fourth step is the change over of pronoun as per this verb flow. And fourth step is change of tense as per this verb flow. And finally, update the time specific words as per this verb flow. So children, that's all from the direct to indirect speech in statement. So in this session, we discussed how to change the statement into direct and indirect. And in the next session, we will learn how to change the interrogative and imperative sentence into direct to indirect. So go through the video carefully, understand the steps, rules and tense, and how to change the statement into direct to indirect.